My experience working in the field, a lot of my like supervisors would try to like keep me down or just be like, just do your work. Like, you can't change the system.
Atomic Souls podcast.
Lifetime.
Yeah.
And so
I love that you say that because I've noticed people like creating our own systems here and like doing business. Even when I first started, I was like, oh, business is this big, like behind the curtain thing. Like it has these like, I don't know, people running it. And it's like we are the people running it. Like,
right.
And other people are people running it. And so like having like figured that out and having that aha moment, did you have one of those where like going up from being case manager and like kind of working boots on the ground, like did you have a moment where you're like, oh, I do have a voice in the system? Like, do you have a moment like that?
Yes. So I had, let's see, this was 2022, 2023. I had applied to be on Leadership Council. So Leadership Council is the governing board that oversees all HUD homeless service funding, right?
Yeah.
So it's like $15 million that comes into the Austin area every year. And then plus ESG, it's probably closer to 20 million total. And basically that governing board writes the best practices for homeless interventions that all providers locally have to use, right? Like the city adopts them. And so it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And I had interacted with that council as a case manager, like sat on work groups or did committees over the years, but I applied to be on the council itself. And I was shocked. I was like, okay, wait, I've been doing this work for 15 years.
Yeah.
I came into this meeting and I'm lost. And not just like the first couple of meetings, like the first 9 months, I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is crazy. So it was a big learning curve. And then one day I was explaining to someone like, yeah, I have a hard time like speaking up in the space. Like I just don't feel confident in like my opinion really mattering, that I'm really understanding all of the issues. And the person's jaw dropped and they looked at me and they're like, you're the most veteran person at the table. Like you've been doing the work the longest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, that's terrifying.
That I don't understand. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so like this is what it feels like to be in a position of power and control over these sorts of things and have that sort of influence. It's been a really humbling and wonderful experience to like own my part in that space, own my authority, own my leadership in the community. And my seat is actually, I'm rolling off the council in the next couple of months. So I'm a little like nervous and it sucks because I really feel like I've grown into an understanding of what it means to take risks, to learn from your experience, to lead others and facilitate these big decisions being made at a really difficult time. I mean, if you've been watching the federal kind of policies roll out and there's a lot changing right now and the landscape is shifting rapidly. And so it's been really an honor to be able to sit in that seat and grow in that way through that council.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. It's, people just think it's like a curtain and it's like, what's behind that? It's like people. So it sounds like you're like connecting with people, realizing your impact as well. I think, I don't know if this was your experience, but in my experience working in the field, a lot of my like supervisors would try to like keep me down or just be like, just do your work. Like, you can't change the system is what I was told. And so it's like actually like finding a way to change it. And so that was like building my own thing. It sounds like that council was how you're like, hey, I can change this. I can do something different.
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely a space that allowed me to like embrace the authority that I really had in the community from having that experience, from, holding the positions that I did. But other like the advocacy efforts, I'm still learning quite a bit around like state legislative advocacy and what that looks like and the, the bill kind of development and how you influence that and how you use your expertise. How do you become one of those experts that legislative folks want to reach out to and say, hey, what do you think about this bill before it gets circulated around? And so it's very interesting, and I'm excited to see what other sorts of, like, how I can continue to grow that impact. And I saw your guys' sign. You had a sign in your lobby that was something along the lines. You can probably do the correct language for me, but it was something like, as long as one life is impacted, my life has not been in vain, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's been the challenge that I've put upon myself through my entire professional career is like, okay, ever since that first person, right, who was like, wow, you changed my life. I'm like, okay, how many times over can I do that?
Yeah.
You know, and the higher I get in that system work, the more of those impacts I can be making. And so
a broader impact.
Yeah,
that my friend in college made that for me.
Really?
She knew what I wanted to do with my mission. And so she had like that quote. It's like, it's a famous author. I forget the name of it. But yeah, it's, if I can impact one person, like my life is not lived in vain. Yeah.
Right.
And so it's cool to see you're so passionate about like helping people, but when we can branch out into like creating the systems that are changing the other systems and branch into, I think it's cool that you're going from the council into like, how do I change the like laws now? And that's the next step. And I think that's huge because it has such a broad impact, and it can feel, when like we were talking about earlier, it can feel so disconnected from the work, but it really does, like, you know, actually change people's lives in a huge way. And so it's just a slower, it's not as like immediate gratification. It's a much slower gratification. But that's awesome that like you're able to like use that and keep growing and going on to it's important to know when to go to the next level as well. It sounds like your time at the council's done, and now it's like time to move into something more intense.
Right. Always trying to challenge ourselves in new ways. And it's something I've had to really, I feel like we get to a point, like if anytime you have gotten a promotion, right? It's like you get to this crescendo in your position and then you just plateau, and it's like, okay, I got this, right? Like I could do this in my sleep. And for some folks it's like, okay, well I've made it. Now I can just kind of coast, right? And that's never been me. I'm like, okay, well I need that high. Like where's the next crescendo, right? And be pushing for that. So
I laugh because that is us.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse, but it's definitely a trait.
Yeah.
Right.
But you need the people who we call it like entrepreneur mind and the employee mindset. You need those people that are like want that position and like stay in that position and like, you know, like have the system down. Like we need those people to grow companies.
Right.
But yeah, we are not those people.
Well, I think I saw somebody talks about this on a podcast. It might have been Alex Ramosi. And he said a friend of his from high school was asking him, you know, how he was so successful and what they were doing wrong. He's like, dude, you're not the one that's broke. I am. He's like, you're able to have this perfect work-life balance and everything's in harmony. He's like, I always have to find that next thing because I'm broken. And I was like, I think that's us 100%. Like, it's really hard for us to connect with a lot of people that don't operate like this, that aren't entrepreneurs. Because there's something in our brain that's just different than the typical person.
Right.
We can never find that satisfaction, that we always have to chase something.